All right, guys, let's keep going here. Morning analysis for Thursday. It's the 3rd of October already, believe it or not. So, all right, guys, let's get started here. Let me pull up some Forex Factory. Let's pull up some Forex Factory and see what we have going on here. We had unemployment claims about a half hour ago, 40 minutes ago. They came out better than expected. And then next we have the ISM non-manufacturing PMI at 10 o'clock Eastern, which would be 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Definitely a mover in the market, so we'll make sure that we're sitting on our hands, set our alerts to not be trading at that time frame. If we happen to be in a trade at that time, really tighten up them stops and make sure that that doesn't cause us to lose more than what we originally anticipated. And for you, one or two natural gas traders in here, it is Thursday. Natural gas day on Thursday, an hour after the open. So, besides all this, economic data and these news announcements that are coming out, guys, I just want to talk about the importance of us possibly maybe uh, making our trading lot sizes maybe half of what we've typically done. With this congressional shutdown, things are just a little bit on edge everywhere. Everywhere you look, everything's just a little bit on edge. Everybody you talk to doesn't really know what to do. Any type of environment like that, guys, I'm always going to recommend just how about we just cut our size in half. If you're a 2 lot trader, trade 1 lot. If you're a 5 or 10 lot trader, cut it in half, guys. That would be a recommendation by me because I would hate to see, because we don't know whenever we're going to get some breaking news or some big break news, come across about Congress or what they said or what they're going to do. And that can have extreme impact on the market. And I would hate for us to be in a position with a full lot size at that time. And it can literally come at absolutely any time. So that might be something I definitely am going to encourage. Cut your size in half today and maybe for a couple days here, just to see what they're going to do in Washington. It's too unpredictable to know what they're going to do. So I would encourage you guys to cut your lot size in half and just be a little more disciplined, if that were to say. So it might be a little bit of a test, but a little more disciplined moving forward. Um, until this gets kind of straightened out, all ironed out. But I would just hate for you to lose more than you typically anticipated because of some wild, push in the market because of a breaking news that may come out. I will constantly be listening to Bloomberg. I'll get the alerts. So if something happens, I should be able to, understand why. But we won't get it before the breaking news. The big guys, on the East Coast. So. You know, in them offices. So I will keep my lot sizes small. I'm going to keep my discipline very tight. So I'm going to wait for them extreme breaks of structure, them extreme price points, and which we're going to go over now. So that's my rant on that, guys. Maybe take smaller size. We have this congressional shutdown that you just never know. You never know what the goofballs are going to say, what they're going to do, what they're going to come up with. They say they have Obama meeting with the banks right now. Who knows what they're going to come up with and talk about? That could push the market around. So just be cautious. That's basically all I'm trying to say. Here's the S&P. As you see, let me pull up let me just pull up some an hourly chart here, and you guys will obviously see that we are still holding. We're still holding that pullback. This long pullback, we're still holding it. Here's the 50% level, this blue line. We're still holding this pullback and looking to possible reverse. Now, while we're doing that, are we having a little bit of a wild market? Yeah, sure we are. We're having some pretty dramatic gyrations intraday, as I talked about yesterday. If I pull up this, let me go back and pull up our 20-minute or 20-day, 15-minute chart. you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about there. I just want to be very aware of what's happening, what exactly is going on every single day. Remember, all the way back here a couple weeks ago, big push down at the open, buy up at the end of the day. The very next day, buy up at the end of the day, sell off into the open. And this is a pattern that has just continued over and over and over. For the last couple of weeks, this has been chop here. But you get my drift. We open up way down here, we push up just in time to sell off. Same thing, push up just in time to sell off. So it's been happening over and over and over. Now look at yesterday. We opened up here. We had a nice big sell off yesterday morning, and then whoop, right back to the open. And we had a gap and go fail yesterday, guys. We had a gap and go fail yesterday. I want to give you guys a heads up on that. I know I said, hey, there's one set up. It doesn't look like it's going to complete, but it's just set up. It failed yesterday. And then today, one thing to notice today: yesterday's highs. Previous day's high, previous day's low, a nice big range yesterday. Yesterday had a nice big range, and we're right in the middle of it. So be a little more cautious. We're right in the middle of yesterday's range. To get more aggressive, you obviously want to see it, obviously push in one direction or another. We're not getting that, and we may not get that today. We've had some interesting volatility the last week or so, so we may not get that today. This may be a day of just nice and slow. We might get one or two opportunities. We'll see if we can take advantage of them, but be aware of the nature of the day. If you don't want to use something like this, just simply look at the daily bars, guys. Look at the daily bars, and you can see, we're definitely trading inside of previous day's range. I'm sorry if this looks a little messy with all these charts, but this is yesterday's range, and we have a nice big hammer right in the middle of it. We traded down and up. We've created these two accumulation bars. They look a lot like this. Two of them right back to back. That's what the last 2 days look like. So big accumulation down here, big buy-in. So every time it wants to sell off, we get big buyers right back up. It sucks it right back up. And as you see right below that, another accumulation bar to start our week. Another accumulation bar to start our week. So this is what the price action has looked like for the last 3 days. So that is actually a bullish sign, being that the fact that we're in a halfway back long. That makes sense. Okay, that does make sense. So the market's been pushing up, pulled back to this, and now we're long. So it does make sense to the long side. So be aware, but I do see if we do get any break, we're going to probably have a little more support, I guess, to the long side, and we'll go ahead and take advantage of it. You can see we're actually at a target here on a fib I drew this morning here about an hour and a half ago, low to high, came back to its 50% here and has completed at the 23%. I'm very curious to see if we can just continue to push through and retest the 618. Now the significance of that is also previous day's trading hours high, illustrated by this green line here, previous day's high, and that'll give us a really nice opportunity to draw a full fib and get another full opportunity, a nice run that'll give us confidence moving forward. That we're starting. We're not in a bull market, but we're starting a bull market. And as you see, we do have a wedge here. We got a lot of things in this area, guys. That's what happens when we get down in these tight, pinched areas. You find a lot of support. You find a lot of resistance, a lot of arguments for longs and shorts, even more confirmation that we need to be really, really strong on our smaller time frames. I'm using a 512 tick. It seems like I'm repeating myself every day, but we've been in this type of pattern for so long that I kind of, just kind of the nature of the beast. I'm using a 512 tick. Let's be really, really sure on a 512 tick that we are starting to break new price structure whenever we're looking to trade. A lot of times we're getting a lot of this stuff, and it seems like we're breaking price structure, but really we're just creating one of these. So Let's really get disciplined and make sure that we're really following rules, especially until this congressional shutdown crap is over. I don't want to see myself get chopped out. Yesterday was an interesting day in the markets. I had a couple no fills that cost me a little bit, but very curious. So in the S&P, I'm curious if we're going to actually have this pullback here, or if this thing is just going to continue to catch buyers up and retest these previous highs, which is 618, very significant level here. Around the 87.50s. So, so we'll wait. We're going to use a smaller time frame. Make sure we're using price action. I talked yesterday a lot about price action. If you want, take the indicators off the chart. And the only real way to see if you're trending, guys, higher highs and higher lows. I had this talk yesterday with a gentleman. All these moving averages, they're just, they're to beautify your charts up. What's a true trend? A true trend doesn't mean, all right, this moving average is pointing in a certain direction, because all moving averages are different time frames, and some may be going up, some may be going down. It's all depending on your time frame. What's a trend for me? It depends on what time frame you're using. If you're using a 512 tick, I want to start seeing lower lows and lower highs. Now that's a trend. Now that exact trend may only be a pullback in an uptrend on a 15-minute chart. Be very aware of what you're trading, especially in difficult times like this. So, yeah, you're welcome, Glenn. I seen your comment. I just wanted to get through this. I'll talk about it here in just a minute. But yeah, so let's see what happens here, guys. We're really going to concentrate on our trading time frames again today. But let's go over to the crude and check that out real fast here. As you see, we have another fib drawn, guys. Now, the significance of fibs are only really significant if they come with previous support or resistance. We got all of it here. We have a high. Everybody can see. I don't care if you're using a 15-minute chart, an hourly chart, a daily chart. Everybody sees this high. Everybody sees these lows. So this 50% level is significant for one of two reasons. It is the halfway back of that major move. Also, it's perfectly in line with this previous low that everybody can see. Even on a daily chart, this is the previous low. So very significant levels here coming in here at the 104, the 104.50 area. So the 104.50, we're going to have a lot of buyers and sellers. We're going to have a lot of interesting price movement in there. Let's zoom in on a smaller time frame, wait for them higher highs and higher lows, or lower highs and lower lows, and we'll start to trade in that direction of the price structure. So let's zoom in here a little bit more and see exactly what's going on. We had this huge thrust up yesterday, just a silly move. Virtually no pullback on this. This was very interesting to watch. This 200 tick move to the upside. Very cool to watch. Not cool that we didn't take advantage. But you do notice we are testing previous day's high right now. That's the last straw before we get up to these 104.50s. Okay? This is the last straw before we get up to the 104.50s. Now, you may see some selling come in at the 40 or this and that, because people are trying to front run this major number, this major halfway back, that major support and resistance that we had in the past over there. But just letting you know, we'll see if we can hold right here on a smaller time frame. I see we are getting up to this previous day's high, and we're getting a little bit of an M pattern on a smaller time frame. I'm curious if we can break price structure and start one of these jobs to the downside, or if we're just going to sit here and do the dance for a little bit before ultimately pushing up. So something also to keep note of. To answer your question, man, I am kind of interested if we can get, if this thing wants to dance around here for a little bit and then break. I will be interested in some momentum to the upside if that happens. I don't know that that's even going to happen, because there could be some significance in here. One more thing before I close this out. Watch your daily bars, guys. Be well aware of where the market's trading. Both of our markets, our main markets here, the ES and the CL, are trading inside previous day's range. Very significant. Very significant. That's tougher to trade any type of trend trading, any type of breakout structure, which I like to do. It's more of a counter trend type of edge to edge type trading. So be very aware of exactly what's going on here. And just one final note, typically when you get a test of the high in crude and it holds, or even if it breaks through for a head fake, which don't rule that out here, guys. Don't rule out a little fake out breakout. But where do we look for targets? I know it looks like it's a little silly. I know this probably going to seem silly to you. Any bounce off previous high, our target's always, always, always previous day's low. Always. So, are we going to get a 200-point drop today or 200-tick drop today? Probably not. But what we could get is a bounce, a head fake here, enough to just tease a lot of these people and get to the downside. So predominantly, guys, I know I said if it breaks, I could look for a long. I may do that, but most of the time today, I'm going to be interested in the shorting opportunity here. The overall trend is down. The resistance is there's more resistance than there is support. The only support comes down here, and this is just piddly lows from overnight. This isn't even a trading hours low. This is a Globex low, so not as significant as something like a trading hours time frame, which we basically don't even have any from yesterday, guys, because this thing was such a thrust. Now to replace all that is going to be interesting. I'm obviously going to be drawing lows to highs and finding a midpoint right in here to maybe look for a little bit of a support area. So, any questions here about what we're looking at? There's a lot of just conflicting issues with these markets today, actually over the last week or so. But any questions about what we're talking about right here? It's uh, it's an interesting time with this congressional shutdown, not really knowing what's going on. Definitely be aware and maybe cut your lot sizes in half, your contract sizes in half, and just make sure that we're being very disciplined. Use them smaller time frames to your advantage. Wait for them breaks of price structures and wait for a real break of price structure um, in order to trade back to the upside. As you see here, I guess you could mark up a nice price structure here, but we didn't technically break the full price structure. So we'll talk a lot about that today, guys. That's what most of our trading is going to be about today is price structure, breaking price structure. The S&P is virtually stopped trading right now. This thing has been sitting here this whole time I've been talking. It's literally went nowhere in 30 minutes. So very interesting. But any questions about the morning analysis here, guys? Any questions? Anything I need to go up over again, or maybe just go over period if I missed something? Anything at all, guys? Alrighty. Yeah, we will discuss a lot of that today. Very cool. All right. Yeah. Yep. We'll go over all them topics, guys. I've had a few of you write in. We'll go over all of them today. Pretty much every one of you wrote the same thing. So talking about the smaller time frames and price structure. Maybe one of the days we just do a lot of talking and maybe not too much trading, but I will definitely get in the market if the opportunity shows up. I'm not gonna go and hide. There's really nothing to hide from. I'm just gonna be aware that I need to have my stops in there. I need to have my lot sizes smaller, and just be aware in case any breaking news comes out. So. All right, very cool. Let me grab a cup of coffee here, and I'll be right back at the open here. It opens up in about 3 minutes, guys. So grab a final cup of coffee here, and I'll be right back here.